All right, let's try this again. Hello, everyone. It's buffering. What is going on? I swear, I can't win. It's always something. Is it still buffering? And hey, sweet crazy. Says my stream status is excellent. So yeah, it said I was live for like 13 minutes. And then I was like, I should probably double check. Because nobody's responding to me. So, okay, yeah, it says I'm live. So, yeah, so let's try this again. I hope everyone's doing well. I was going to do the stream about Kessinger's deleted text messages tonight, but no sound. No sound. How is there no sound? Hi, not buffering. Yes, sound. So there is sound. Hey, Orbital. There is sound or there's no sound? Like, you do hear me. My voice is light. Okay, I'll try to talk louder, like an Italian. I'm using an external mic, so I'm sure you can hear the neighbor's dog barking. But hopefully not. Sound is great. Okay. So maybe, Jay, maybe you just needed to turn up your volume. Maybe it's user error on your end. Hey, Sledge Clips. Interesting name. I'm intrigued. You have no sound still? Refresh. Oh, you can't hear me. I was gonna type it. So, since it got so late tonight, yeah, I think I'm gonna do Kessinger's deleted text messages tomorrow. Or what's tomorrow? Today's Saturday. So tomorrow or Monday, but we'll shoot for tomorrow. And we're just gonna do we're just gonna wing it. I already have one video in mind that I want to show you guys that I thought was pretty interesting that hasn't got a whole lot of views. It's on full blast. Did you refresh? I don't know, I keep asking him if he can't hear me, but so we'll start as soon as Jay's ready. So we're just waiting on Jay. I'm just kidding. I'll blame it on you for me being late to my stream. Hey, Justice A to Z, welcome. I remember you in What's the Obsession stream the other night. So yeah, welcome. You have a video that you're gonna do, Sweet Crazy? Yeah, I'd love to see it. Of course. You put headphones on? Okay, hopefully that helped. Hey, Wolfie. Is that the Wolfie? I'm like, the one and only Wolfie? It's your phone. Okay, well, I can try to speak louder. I'll get closer to the mic. Do some mic, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called. ASML, is that what it is? It's so weird. Mic licking. I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway, okay. So let's go ahead and start. I know that when people watch this replay, they don't like a whole lot of nonsense in between, and I can understand that. It's not as bad when you're in the chat and live. So let's get started. So first, I'm gonna play for you guys a video that I made of me interviewing a psychologist. I actually met him, my ex, as a hairstylist, and he actually cut his and his wife's hair for like many years. So that's how I was introduced to this person. And when I found out his background, I was like, ooh, really nice guy. Just recently passed away, unfortunately. He was a really, really, really nice guy, and his wife. But I asked him, I was just like, I would really like to ask you a couple questions about the Watts case. And so he's like, yeah, of course. And I didn't record him, the audio, because I figured I should just be happy that he's going to answer my questions. I don't go, hey, can I record you too? And then put you on the internet. So, unfortunately, you'll just have to take my word for it that this is what he said. Just take it with a grain of salt. But I did, in fact, interview him. And he does have a couple books out that he released. Orbital's not banned. No, I can see their comments. Wait, still banned? They were never banned. Mic eating, yeah. Yeah, usually when in doubt, just refresh. You did hair and nails? Oh, cool. Yeah, my mom did nails for a lot of years. Hey, Adrian. My theory on the Rusex? Yeah, if you want to get me worked up, Justice. Just kidding. That's probably like pretty much the only time. I try to stay neutral on my channel, just because I like to say like that just so I don't sway opinions of people. I think that's important. But for whatever reason, actually I know the reason, but talking about the Rusex just it gets me fired up, just simply because of their behavior and what they've been doing over the past few years. So you like the screensaver? Yeah, me too. I like it a lot. I figured it's better than just staring at a blank screen or me until I play some sort of video. You chew nails? That's your hobby? You don't do nails, but you chew them? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Can figure out how to do it again, because I forget how to do stuff and I don't do it for a while. It's true, if you don't use it, you lose it. Watch them cooking. I don't know, do I have to? Do I have to watch her cooking channel? Because the clip that I saw of it was enough for me already. If you can give me a good enough reason to start to watch them, JYD, I'll consider it. We're just saying you should watch them. It's not, I just don't want to. Okay. Display capture. So what I'm going to do is, instead of playing it, because I this is one of my earlier videos and I think I was speaking pretty fast in it. There was a comment that said speak slower, so I'm going to take that into consideration, and I'm going to just It's not a long video. I mean, it says it's 6 minutes, but I mean, we'll get to it quickly. But I'm not gonna lie, I was speaking kind of quickly in it. So I'm just gonna read the text for you guys while I mute it. Or I'll play it, and if you guys don't think it's too fast, then I'll just keep. All right. Okay, so crazy. We'll do that. All right, you guys ready? The following is a brief conversation I had with a criminal psychologist who is one of my boyfriend's clients. Dr. S was nice enough to answer some of my questions in regards to the Watts case. Therefore, I refrained from asking his permission to post his name on YouTube. I just said that. I know this does not make the information 100% credible. Therefore, you will just have to take my word for it. I will, however, be providing some of his credentials. Before I begin, I'd like to add that Dr. S only knows a few details about the case, and all of his answers are unbiased and from his professional standpoint. Dr. S went to St. Louis. Is that too fast? I could slow it down. It might sound kind of funny. Let's see what I sound like. I slowed down. That's probably gonna sound really funny. Okay. University School of Medicine. Oh, I went fast. Oop, that was really fast. Okay, slow. He has over 50 years of experience. Okay, no, that's way too slow. Okay. All right, we'll leave it on normal. Sandy makes some ridiculous comments in the omelet video. And that's weird, Orbital. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, here we go. In criminal and administrative psychiatry in community, military, education, state, and federal mental health programs. He was the director of one of the largest forensic hospitals. Okay, my audio is like really bad at it too, like the way I recorded it. But so maybe I'll just read it. I feel like I need to do something instead of just playing a video. I don't want to be lazy. Okay, so where did I start? Where did I end at? Wait, where are we at? Hospitals in the United States. He's a certified expert witness in over 40 superior and federal courts in California and Colorado. He's had multiple publications in the American Journal of Forensic Psychology. He was awarded honorary fellow for the American College of Psychiatrists, and he's published 2 books discussing his theories on why criminals are the way they are. A bit fast. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought, so I'll just read it. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions about a case I've been following. Sure, what case is it again? Hey, Foxy. The Watts case. It was the one that took place in Colorado where the husband murdered his wife and kids and dumped their bodies at a well site owned by the oil and gas company he worked for. Oh yes, I remember. The Watts case from the day he allegedly committed the murders and the day of his sentencing took roughly 3 months. This seems rather fast. Do you know how long a typical plea deal process takes in a homicide case? Well, I mean, it's conceivable if they had all this time from August to November to get all the facts together, and if they had a solid case on him and kind of indisputable, and he is admitting to everything, there isn't any reason why they couldn't move forward. But I guess what I'm wondering is, did he, when he admitted to the crimes, did he waive a trial then at that point? Yes, he did. He waived the trial? Yeah, if they got all of that down at the time that he pleaded when he admitted to the crimes, they could go forward. I did some researching into the Colorado revised statutes on plea deals, which is another one of the live streams I want to do after the Kessinger deleted text messages stream. That's what I'm going to be discussing. Okay, so let me start over. I did some researching into the Colorado revised statutes on plea deals. One of the stipulations state that the defendant must provide a factual basis. However, this stipulation was left out of Chris's guilty plea and waiver. Do you know what court this took place in? Where did it finally take place in? Was it Colorado Springs? Oh, wait. I was looking at Jay's comment. I gotta go back now. Went too fast. Okay. I believe all of his court hearings were in Greeley. Oh, in Greeley? Is that the county in which the crime took place, or is that where he is a resident? The crime took place in Weld County, and I believe Greeley is in Weld County. Yes, that's right. Well, Chuckles, looks to me like they short-circuited the thing. I'm not quite sure how they were able to do that. Now, at this point, I wish I would have asked them for a little bit more information regarding that, because I'm just not exactly sure what he means by that, like how he was able to, I guess, why they had his hearings in a different county or city. Not county, but city. Yeah, so he says, I'm not quite sure how they were able to do that. So like I said, I wish I would have got more information as far as that goes, but that's still interesting. Jay, pay attention, because there's going to be a quiz on this when I'm done. I'm kidding. But yeah, if those were the Colorado revised statutes that require that, I'm not quite sure how they got around that. So yeah, like you can't just like, it's in the statutes. And you guys, my brain hurt after researching that. It was so, oh my God, the law jargon. I'm like, why don't you just say it? Like, just say it. Like, why do you have to like word it all weird? But yeah, it was exhausting. So if it's in the Colorado revised statutes, you can't just like go, oh, I'm just gonna leave the statute out of his plea deal. Like that's not by the books at all. So how could DA Rourke just decide that he didn't want to put that particular statute into Chris's plea deal, which is a pretty big statute. And like I said, I'm going to be talking about that when I do that live stream. Okay, interesting. Hey, All the World's a Stage. Good to see you. Now, a couple things more. I mean, when he pled guilty and everything, were the bodies ever recovered? Oh, I thought I paused it. Darn it. I should have just played it, but you guys are like, it's too fast. Well, not you guys, Jay did. Okay, I'm just going to blame everything on Jay tonight. That sounds good. Seeking the Truth with Dave. He is no longer on YouTube. I don't know why. Never looked. But he's on Rumble now, apparently. Okay. Yes, they were recovered. However, there was no actual confirmed crime scene and no autopsy photos released. Not only that, but the autopsies themselves appear to be incomplete. The district attorney and law enforcement were never able to confirm where the murders actually occurred, and to be honest, they only had circumstantial evidence against him. They ultimately took Chris's word and as far as how he committed the murders. Chris's word as far as how he committed the murder. I worded that kind of weird, but that makes sense. Yeah, it looks to me like they took some shortcuts. Weld County, Greeley, those are some of the areas in Colorado that I've testified in court cases there, and they are still a frontier country. There are different parts of Colorado that they operate pretty much how they sort of want to. So when I'm interviewing, I could tell that he's wants to be truthful about answering my question, but about answer my questions, but he's also being careful. Like, and I could pick that, I could sense that from him, especially with the uhs. And so I'm gonna read this again. Hey Amy, good to see you. So let's just go back one more time here. One question. Okay. The district attorney and law enforcement were never able to confirm where the murders actually occurred, and to be honest, they only had circumstantial evidence against him. They ultimately took Chris's word as far as how he committed the murders. Oh, okay, Sherry. He says, yeah, it looks to me like they took some shortcuts. Weld County, Greeley, those are some of the areas in Colorado that I've testified in court cases there, and they're still a frontier country. There are different parts of Colorado that they operate pretty much how they sort of want to. So pretty much they don't really go by the books, is what I'm getting from it. You know, they pretty much do whatever they want. And he said, and this might come up in the next question, but he had said that pretty much the smaller counties, and especially ones on like the outskirts, so not like Denver and or not counties, but I mean cities, counties also, but the ones that are more like on the outskirts of the state and the smaller ones, they're the ones that are going to just kind of like play by their own rules and kind of do whatever they want. Yeah, inconsistencies in the autopsies. Yeah, I've seen that before in another case. Hey, Jose. Yeah, I'm back. For now. No, I'm gonna try to be more active for sure. Okay. Hey, Chase. Okay, so yeah, he does go into it. I should have just waited. If it were Denver, they would be too close to be overlooking everything. But some of those outlying counties, and Greeley is one of those areas. They run their show, and they don't necessarily follow what you might expect from law. So it doesn't surprise me. So I found this really interesting. Hey, Crisis. I mean, there will be other places, especially in the western half of Colorado, where I know a lot of the courts and the justice systems and the judges and things like that. Of course, that was a long time ago, but I know how they operate even way back then. So, again, what I'm getting from it is that he's saying that there's corruption in Colorado and all like that, but it's been going on for a while because he's been doing it for over 30 years. Then, in and out of the courts. It's been going on for a while. And I'm not surprised either. You live 70 miles from Chris Watts? Oh, wow. Yeah, pretty much, Beck. Yeah. Hey, I knit. I love that name. I love your name. It's good. Long, but good. Okay. They have their own sort of system of justice. They're going to see to it that they're going to do what they want to do. Wait, did I miss a question before that? Because I was in chat. Oh my gosh. I should have just played it. Nope, I didn't. Okay. We're good. Just don't want to miss anything. Oh, in Wisconsin. Okay. So from Dodge. And if they got a guy confessing to the crimes and everything, what sentence did he get? What was his... They were going to charge him with the death penalty, but since he took the plea deal and confessed to all the murders, it was taken off the table and they gave him life. I believe he got 3 or 4 consecutive life terms. 3 or 4 consecutive life terms? Yes. Okay. I said the district attorney allegedly flew to North Carolina to personally speak to the victim's family about the plea agreement. He claimed that it was their decision to not seek the death penalty. I know that the DA will sometimes take the opinions of the victim's family into consideration, but I didn't think they were able to ultimately oh, that was a typo. Cringe. Okay. Ultimately decide whether or not someone lives or dies. It sure sounds like they were in a rush to get the thing closed, taken care of, off the books. Yeah, they didn't do anything by the books at all. Uh, Wait, what happened to... Huh? How did we skip the Kessinger question? Oh, okay, here we go. Did they ever do anything as far as the girl was involved? And again, like I said in the beginning of the video, he only knew like a little bit about this case. He didn't know details, just pretty much, your basic narrative. So, and that's why I wanted to interview him too, because he wouldn't have like a biased opinion on it, hopefully, Oh, yeah. Oh, we should actually watch that again tonight. Hey, Steph, uh, JYD, because I did a live stream on that, and that was absolutely ridiculous the way they handled all that evidence. There's just so much that I forgot about that I've covered. That's important information. Orbital, do they have special ways of running things, or is it total corruption instead? And that's the thing. I don't know. Like, I don't understand how they can get away with it just because they're in a small county or they're in a small city. Like, I think it was it Jay or was it J Lord or JYD? One of you guys said something about why do we have laws? Why do they have laws if they're not gonna abide by them? It's a good question. Yeah, and identifying a body like over the phone, like that's absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't matter if all the like evidence like points to Chris, like with the rake and the trash bag and the sheet, like all at Survey 319. Like that doesn't matter. You just can't identify someone over the phone. Like oh, is she brunette and beautiful? Like, how many beautiful brunettes there are that could be missing, or I mean, it's just like you can't just identify someone over the phone. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think Steph. I don't think he did, but she should have been somewhat recognizable because she was only in there for a little bit, but. And you definitely can't just like identify someone over the phone. Anyways, so yeah. Oh, did Sandy supposedly say that? Okay. Okay, so did they ever do anything as far as the girl was involved? Okay, so he's referring to Kessinger. No, she even deleted all the text messages between her and Chris just before coming forward to law enforcement. But no, they did not. Yeah, well, it doesn't surprise me. The oil companies have tremendous power and the ability to really sway things. I don't know how big, I think they've got some. I don't know how big the oil industry is in Will County, but oh, it's huge. Will County holds 90% of the oil in Colorado. I think that's probably a lot that pushed this thing along. I agree. I believe the oil company has a lot to do with what went on. I did find something interesting during my research. At the time of the murders, when the news story came out and throughout the investigation, there was a bill that the environmental groups were trying to get passed called Proposition 112. And I made a video about this titled Watts Case Fracking Distraction. This bill would essentially move the fracking buffer zone from 500 feet to 2,500 feet, which would have cost the oil and gas industry millions of dollars if it passed. So again, my fracking distraction video, I think, is one of my best videos and important videos that I've posted or made, because it's just really interesting that, as I mentioned in the video just a little bit ago, or just a couple minutes ago, that 90% of Weld County, or 90% of the oil is in Weld County, and Chris and Shanann's house was right on that front line to where that buffer zone would have been pushed back or forward to 2,500 feet. And we can watch that video if you guys are interested. Or I mean, there's so many. I don't know which ones to pick. The evidence one or the or whatnot. But wait, found out it was ventilators. Ventilators. Yeah, the 3 adult coffins are suspicious. Yeah, that's weird. Did they get cremated? Are you talking about the girls? No, they didn't, if you're talking about the girls. Mass of some kind. They said engineer. I must be missing some comments or something, because I'm like, okay. Yeah, and that's the thing too, Jay, is the inside lip. It's tiny, but like you're talking about it already, how small it already is. Like Cece, based on the discovery, Cece was 11 inches from shoulder to shoulder, which would mean that Bella was even larger from shoulder to shoulder. And if those hatches are 8 inches, like that's 3 more inches plus that inside lip that you're talking about inside the hatch. So you can't fit a square peg into a round hole. And I know some people make an argument that bodies can be manipulated, but or there was some sort of example that someone had made. But the fact of the matter is, we're talking about bones and flesh here. Like you can't just like contort, like it's not possible, you know. And I found that interesting too, that they said they were combustible, Foxy, because when I was doing my autopsy research, when you're dealing with a homicide case, the coroner has to do a full Y incision autopsy, like, so the entire thing. So teeth impressions, x-rays, draining, sorry for the what's coming, like the draining of the bodily fluids or whatever, and then and not only that, but they would have to wash all of that oil off of them prior to doing, I mean, as much as they could wash the oil off of them prior to doing the autopsy so that they could perform the autopsy. You can't do an autopsy with oil all over them. So how would they still be combustible if they washed the bodies from like head to toe? And yeah, and no broken bones. And they would have, I would think, they would have more injuries to their bodies if they were manipulated into those. If somehow Chris was able to fit them in that hole, they would have more than just scrapes. We don't know, JYD. Mr. Zayers. I don't know who Mr. Zayers is. And if they were, did they say that they shipped them on a plane? The girls, right? Am I back on? I got disconnected from OBS. Okay, you guys hear me? Yes? Okay. Hey Tammy, how are you? So Foxy says, yes, they were. So they were. Okay, so if they were flammable, how could you put flammable bodies on an airplane? Regardless if they were in a casket or not. Like, I'm pretty sure that you shouldn't have flammable items, or not items because they're not items, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, on a plane, that's probably not very safe. In my opinion, there wasn't anything in those oil tanks. That Survey 319 had been, what's the word I'm looking for? We'll say out of service because I can't think of the word. Out of service for a while. I don't think that that Survey 319, Survey 319 wells had been operating for quite some time. I'm doing fine, Tammy. Thanks. Thanks for being here. They had to be triple wrapped in heavy plastic. I mean, if that were the case, it would make sense. But like I said, how could you perform an autopsy with oil over them? They would have to have washed the oil from the girls in order to even perform the autopsy. You can't do an autopsy with oil all over them. And if there was, like, I don't know about how x-rays work. Would something flammable conflict with doing x-rays? Would that do anything? I don't know, but I don't know how they would do x-rays if that is the case. Maybe that has nothing to do with like combustion, but either way, they would have to do the full autopsy and rinse the oil off them. So I don't believe that they were still flammable. I think it was just a way to not have an open casket. A lot easier to have a non-open casket than it would to have, you know, people in there that they were trying to, well, Okay. All right. So, yeah, oil company, the fracking Proposition 112 had that pass. Colorado would have lost a lot of money, and we should probably watch that video next because it's really important. I still can't quite put my finger on it what the oil company had to do with it, but I know that it's important. And go. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like there was a lot in the background going on that was really pulling strings and controlling a lot of stuff, which doesn't surprise me. Knowing the kind of background there is, I mean, that's the kind of background there is still in areas like that in Colorado. So pretty much what he's saying is those little counties, like we were talking about a little bit ago, those little counties on the outskirts and the small cities, they pretty much run in things however they want to. How they get away with it, I don't know. It was a water tower, JYD. I used to go hunting up past there, peasant hunting, I just said peasant hunting. Oh my God. I hope he wasn't going peasant hunting because that would be probably not humane. Okay, pheasant hunting in the wide open fields and some duck hunting too. But as I mentioned before, you get out there beyond Greeley, especially. That's sort of the last town. Once you get out beyond that, you're really in frontier country. Those people run their own show. Oh yeah, all over the place, Kate. Yeah, for sure. There's definitely corruption everywhere, unfortunately. Yeah, huge military state, Beck. That's why the whole psyop thing is interesting too. Okay, so That was a Dr. S. Yeah, the Denver airport. They're mocking us with that, Beck, for sure. Oh, you know what's interesting is that something I found. The Denver airport. Maybe I can find a picture of it. I'm gonna try not to get too off track here. I want to stay Watts, even though it does kind of have to do with Watts still because of the symbolism and whatnot, but and numerology. But there's a plaque in the Denver airport, and I'm just gonna find it. Okay, Denver airport plaque. I want to see. I'm not going to tell you guys what I was going to show you. I want to see if one of you guys could pick up on the plaque what I'm going to refer to. Oh, and they love their colors too. Yeah, they love the colors. Seemed like purple seemed to be their color of choice, and orange for because of the Broncos for the Watts case. Okay, display capture. Okay, I'm just gonna zoom in this way. Does it pull up the picture still? Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me make it bigger. Oh, it's not gonna make it bigger. Okay. Open link in new tab. No, not link. I want a picture. Open image in new tab. There we go. Okay. So I want to see if you guys can see what I was gonna show you guys. Yeah, their walls were purple. Oh, Lucifer, yeah. Yeah, Colorado is beautiful state, but it's really corrupt, and that's unfortunate. So yeah, so this is a plaque inside the Denver airport. Hey, Callie. And notice the Masonic compass. All right, I'll give you a hint. Yeah, she did. It did look like she painted the house 5 colors. The suction sound of you going back in. Yeah. I'm sure many people have heard that sound, Chase. Okay, anybody see what I'm talking about? I'll give you a hint. It's in the date. Yes, it is cray cray, Jay. Cray cray, Jay. Hey, Buggy, what you doing? You gonna eat your treat? My cat. The symbol, yeah, Tammy, for sure the symbol, but there's something else in the date. So not only the Freemasonic compass right here. So March 19th, what's March 19th? 319, yep. Survey 319, 94. Again, it could be coincidental, but usually with these cases, it's not. So yeah, 319. And fun fact, now I'm gonna have like a space cadet moment, and I'm not gonna remember the name of the serial killer. Gosh, I swear, I think I'm losing it. Okay, so is that? Yeah, so I remember now. Okay, so Chris Watts was born on the same day as H.H. Holmes, that serial killer. Yep, they were born on the same day. Fun fact. Okay, so do you guys want to watch the Fracking distraction video? And some of you may have seen it, and some of you may have not. But again, I think that I think it's really important, because I know that proposition has to do with something. I know it's too coincidental that the Watts lived right there on the front line, on that, right by that buffering zone. He still can't be found in the prison database. So I did see that he has inmate number. Did he always have that, but he just still wasn't listed? Or did we just get the inmate number recently and he's still not listed? Or did I just ask the same question? Yeah, and it doesn't make any sense if they try to say, oh, it's for his protection, blah, blah, blah. Like Scott Peterson is in San Quentin and he murdered his wife and kid. They're not protecting him. We know he's there. I mean, well, we don't actually. I don't know for sure if he's there, but at least he's got at least he has he's listed, you know. So at least they did that, but they didn't even bother to do that with Chris. And who are all these people writing him at Dodge Correctional if he's not there? Do they just forward his mail to where he's at? I don't believe it. Yes, you guys want to watch the fracking one? Okay, cool. Good, because I was going to play it anyways. Just kidding. All right. Just the number? Okay. All right. You guys ready?
So, again, this is all industry stuff. Let's talk about this plan and how we executed our media plan. If you're a PR representative in this industry, in this room today, I recommend you do three things. These are three things that I've read recently that are pretty interesting to me. Download the U.S. Army/Marine Corps Counterinsurgency Manual, because we are dealing with an insurgency. There's a lot of good lessons in there, and coming from a military background, I've found the insight in that extremely remarkable. With that said, there's a course provided by Harvard and MIT twice a year. It's called Dealing with an Angry Public. Take that course. And the tie back to the Army and Marine Corps Counterinsurgency Manual is that a lot of the officers in our military are attending this course. It gives you the tools, it gives you the media tools on how to deal with a lot of the controversy that we as an industry are dealing with. And thirdly, I have a copy of Rumsfeld Rules. If you're all familiar with Donald Rumsfeld, that's kind of my Bible by the way I operate.
I just want to pause it real quick. So psyops are usually a military tactic, but that's ventured out into other areas or other I guess people or individuals or departments that are it's not just in the military anymore. Does that make sense? But originally it was a military tactic. Okay, here we go.
I think we have to get out ahead of all these issues. Everybody knows this. We've talked a lot about it. One thing that we've worked a lot on at Range is just getting more proactive in the community. It's not something that we've done before. In other parts of the nation, it makes no sense for us to do that. In other parts, in Pennsylvania, for instance, we have several. I think Matt raised the issue of looking to other industries, in this case the Army and the Marines. We have several former PsyOps folks that work for us at Range because they're very comfortable in dealing with localized issues in local governments. Really all they do is spend most of their time helping folks develop local ordinances and things like that, but very much having that understanding of PsyOps in the Army and in the Middle East has applied very helpfully here for us in Pennsylvania.
I'm just going to pause these parts in case, some people are a little bit slower readers. I try to leave it on there long enough to where this is like before I started speaking in my video, so that's why I'm not speaking on it, but I think that's probably good for this video. Oh yeah, and against each other too, Beck. The sound is too low when I speak after the video. Oh, the background music, Orbital. Where did I get that from? I got it from one of the video editing apps on my phone. I'll try to see if I can find it. Oh yeah, gotta love rabbit holes. Okay, so I just wanted to pause those in case it was going too fast. Okay, here we go.
When fracking comes to a city, it puts our health and safety at risk. With over 1,200 peer-reviewed research articles, the increased risk of asthma, birth defects, and cancer are well documented. In Colorado, fracking wells can be drilled within 500 feet of homes and 1,000 feet from school buildings. Aside from the health issues, these wells are loud, unsightly, and dangerous. Let's keep our neighborhoods safe and increase the buffer zone to 2,500 feet. Vote yes on Proposition 112 for safer setbacks from fracking. Donate now at coloradorising.org.
Here is what Proposition 112 would do to the already limited surface locations in Colorado. All of the red shaded areas are now off limits from future drilling just from the 2,500-foot town and housing development setbacks. Here you can see the effect of increasing the house and occupied structure setback to Proposition 112 standard. As you can see, a 2,500-foot setback for every house virtually takes away all available surface locations in the region. Streams, rivers, lakes, wetlands, and now even drainages, which is a very general term, will have 2,500-foot setbacks. Even if an area is not heavily populated, drainages and areas deemed vulnerable by Proposition 112 will virtually ban the majority of future drilling locations throughout the state. All of the additional current regulatory setbacks will also still be in place. As you can see, no drillable surface locations exist on the map, meaning that the private property and rights of mineral owners have effectively been taken away without compensation.
I just want to read this whole part right here. Okay, caution, don't be fooled by Big Oil's ballot initiative. Yes on safer setbacks from fracking, Proposition 112. Vote yes, statewide on Tuesday, November 6th. That date's going to be important coming up. No on Amendment 74, just compensation for damage. This misleading change to the Constitution requires taxpayers to compensate all private investors, including the oil and gas industry, if any future law decreases their property's value. This sneaky scare tactic of a ballot issue is designed to protect underground mineral rights, not your home, and it is funded by the oil and gas industry. This forces taxpayers to write a blank check and would have many unintended consequences. Okay, it says, according to an analysis done by Weld County's Director of Finance and Administration, Don Warden, the results of SB 181 will mean a 9% reduction in overall revenue to every taxing district, municipality, and county in Colorado. The reduction comes at an even bigger cost to Weld County's economy, where 68% of the state's new well permits were located in 2018. Weld County accounts for 90% of the drilling in Colorado and is the second most productive county in the United States. Impact from the loss of tax revenues from SB 181 would be felt in a very short time, Warden wrote. The consequences being a dramatic service reduction for fire districts, water districts, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so why was his hearing or sentence, I think I got it wrong and somebody corrected me in the comments, but either way, why was it changed from November 19th to November 6th? And not that I guess he has to give us a reason as to why he did it, but why did he change his court hearing from November 19th to November 6th? It says Colorado Rising spent about $819,000. Donations came mostly from individuals and several environmental advocacy groups and liberal philanthropy organizations. We overcame tens of millions in oil and gas spending, a 40-to-1 ratio, and lots of deceit and dirty tricks to come closer than was ever imagined, read a statement issued by Colorado Rising. This is momentum that we will continue to build upon to protect our communities from a dangerous and belligerent industry. says, the director of Primrose asked Karen if she knew the Watts were selling their house. The only thing that Karen knew was that Shanann mentioned that Chris had an inside heads up that an oil and gas site was coming across from their house and it would drop their property value. So I don't know what this means. I don't know why it was put in the discovery. I don't know why it's important. All I know is with my research was that that it's just very interesting that the Watts home, hey Buttercup, good to see you. Just very interesting that the Watts house was literally like on the front line of all of these oil and gas wells. And had this Proposition 112 passed, like the economy in Colorado would have been devastated. Like just devastated. It literally takes away. Have you guys looked at how many wells, like I wanted to vet that information about all of the wells in Colorado, not all of them, but some of the wells in Colorado besides the Wattenberg field and the Shannon mine, not mine, but Shannon well. Besides those connections that I found, there's more names that match with people in the case of oil wells. So I looked that up because I wanted to vet it to make sure that it was true. Oh, thanks, Jay, and thanks, Orbital, for the. It's intense, I know, but I think it's fitting. Yeah, it was just off of a video app I used, but yeah, I'm gonna try and find it. So I was looking up to vet that information that someone had put out about the names matching the oil wells, and it just showed a map of just all of the oil wells, whether active, that are going to be active in the future or whatever, or not, or no longer active. But I mean, I couldn't even see hardly anywhere on the map. It was just all dots. Like I was like, that's insane how many oil wells there are. So if you take that in consideration, the fact that put with if this Proposition 112 would have passed, like again, the Colorado economy would have been just devastated, and let's just say the oil companies would not have been happy. And I'm just mentioning Anadarko, like in it, but we're talking about all the oil and gas industries in Colorado that are gonna hurt financially and a lot. And yeah, it is juicy. Okay. Okay, so if you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I bring these up all the time. These are characteristics or red flags that you're going to want to look out for in future events, because for the most part, even though they're all different, I mean, these events are not just in like true crime. So it could be anything. It could be any tragic event. Or any event that they're trying to get some sort of emotional reaction from the public from, or a fear-based reaction. So for the most part, these are your common ones that you're going to find, but they're not going to all be in the events because they're going to cater to that specific event. But for the most part, these are the ones that keep popping up that I've noticed. So like if it's a high profile case, that's going to be one is always going to be there, that red flag. And I call them characteristics, but I don't even know if I don't know if that's the correct word, but these are the red flags you're going to want to look out for. So high profile case with widespread media attention. We know with the Watts case, the minute that Chris stood on his front porch, it spread like wildfire. Now with the mainstream media, like the main like 6 media outlets are all owned by the same, is it the same 6 companies? I think that's what it is. Are owned by the same 6 companies. So they're all working in cahoots. Whether it doesn't matter if it's Fox, it doesn't matter if it's CNN. Like the mainstream media is a huge reason, obviously, why some of these cases, not all of them, which is another thing that I've always said, is why is it when there's so many people that go missing all the time, so many people are murdered all the time, so why is it only specific cases that seem to get that mainstream media attention and all that high profile attention? It's because they pick them on purposely, because the mainstream media is such a huge factor when it comes to this, because they can get information out so quickly and to so many people, and to really push that narrative out to as many people as possible, which sucks, which is a huge, downfall for us, because like someone like myself, I can't get information out that fast, like independent sources, so the mainstream media plays a huge role in these events. So again, that red flag, if it gains widespread media attention, like the Summer Wells case, and like just any of them, and like they're all going to gain like attention within days, but some of them are just going to be bigger than others. Like the Tristan Bailey case, like that was huge, but like you'll notice like not really anybody's talking about it anymore. But it just depends on whether people pick up on it, or it grabs people's attention for that amount of time or not. One of them is like the Summer Wells case. People are still talking about Summer Wells, and the Watts case, obviously, and some of the other ones. But so keep an eye out for that, and I'll keep talking about these red flags till the cows come home, because they're super important, and I'm all about pattern and consistency. And if I keep seeing the same things happening over and over again, then it's probably not coincidental anymore. It's probably a reason for it. Oh yeah, and they rarely get solved. Yeah, exactly, Beck. And that's the thing with Chris being on, with NA calling or Atkinson calling the news station to interview Chris, because what better way to push a narrative any faster than that? By Chris standing on his front porch giving that news interview, that was done specifically for a reason, and that was to get that narrative out there to as many people as possible, and to push at heartstrings, or to pull at heartstrings. Okay, so then another red flag you're going to find, I'll just try to go over these really quick, but they are important. So does the story change multiple times? How many times has the narrative and story changed in this case? Like, regardless if it's coming from law enforcement, like one example is Rourke. We were led to believe that the girls were deceased based on the narrative before they left the house, and not at Survey 319. Well, then the whole shadow thing comes out, and then Rourke has to come out and say, oh no, the girls were alive when they left the house, when Chris left the house. So it's like, do you even know what's going on in your own case, Rourke? Because you were pretty confident that they were dead when they left the house. That's what you told us, right? So that narrative changes because of the shadow thing. So they have to, like, no event is going to be perfect. Like, shit's going to go wrong. So they're going to have to try to, like, cover up their tracks or cover up their mistakes the best way they can. Because, again, none of them are going to be perfect. Especially if you're dealing, like, with weather, and if they're doing anything, like, in real time, shit's going to go wrong. Someone's going to mess up, Yeah. Yeah, distraction, control, money. Yeah. Distraction is a huge part of it, too. Yeah, Chris had Duper's Delight a lot. He was probably one of the worst ones in it, or if not the worst. And I think that's why they had his back to the camera on that second interview, because they're like, dude, you gotta stop. You gotta stop smiling like that. I mean, it worked. Great for them. Unfortunately for someone like me trying to prove otherwise with this case, but I think he was just doing it a little bit too much, and they're like, I think we worked too hard for you to keep doing this Duper's Delight smiling stuff. So in my opinion, that's where they had his back to the camera on that second interrogation, if you want to call it, quote unquote. So how many times, like I said, has the story or narrative changed, whether it's coming from Chris or from somebody else? But just Chris alone, he changed the narrative I don't know how many times. So that's a red flag to look out for in these events. If the killer didn't fit the profile, they hardly ever fit the profile. They usually don't have a motive. Law enforcement won't give you a motive, a definitive motive as to why they committed it. An example that I use is with the Las Vegas event. The FBI spent a year, almost a year, I think, maybe a little over a year, promising us that they were going to do a thorough investigation of that event and hopefully give us a motive by the time they were finished. So FBI releases their report, and it was 3 pages long, a 3-page report for the biggest mass pew 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 event in U.S. history. 3 pages. That's what we got. And not only was it only 3 pages, but they only gave us, or they didn't even give us a motive as to why he did what he did, or any sort of idea. And Paddock also didn't fit the profile of a mass pew pew pewer, pew pew pewer. And I know that might be hard to kind of understand, because it is 2 totally different things. You're like, Megan, one's a massive killing event, and the other one is a homicide case. But it doesn't matter. Like, these events are going to come in all shape or form. But the one thing that for sure they're going to have in condom. Did I just say condom? The one thing that they're going to have in common is speaking is difficult, for real. Don't make fun until you get up here and do it. Okay. One thing that they're going to for sure have in common is they're all going to be as tragic as possible. As tragic as they can and terrible as they can make them. Because the more tragic, the more emotions that they're going to get out of people. Because when people think with emotions, they don't think logically and clearly. They just think with their emotions. And that's not good. Okay, moving on. Okay. So many people benefit. Someone or someone's or companies are gonna benefit substantially from these events. So I always say follow the money. That's where you're gonna find your answers. So with Chris Watt, if my fracking video is correct, they didn't gain a whole bunch of money, the oil companies, but they also didn't lose a shit ton of money. So to me, I feel like that's benefiting. Lavelle, Thrive, their sales skyrocketed after the murders. And I know some people argue, they'll say, well, why would people go and buy Thrive if it's associated with, or maybe with a murder case, or if that could potentially been why Chris did what he did, if Lavelle, him taking Thrive, could have done that. But the thing is that you couldn't turn one way or without seeing a Thrive patch on someone, or on Shanann, or on Atkinson, or Thrive being mentioned in the discovery. I don't even want to know how many times, if you look at the discovery, how many times Thrive or Lavelle was mentioned. So I mean, it was like a huge publicity stunt for Lavelle, and genius, because with Shanann's Facebook profile left open, it was just Lavelle after Lavelle, Thrive, marketing, and it was all free, unless, of course, Lavelle had to pay to be involved in this, to get that publicity out, but still, there's receipts that their sales did indeed skyrocket after the murders. So genius publicity stunt, in my opinion. So and even if it's connected with a murder case, people are still, in a negative way, people are still going to subconsciously, they're going to be curious about it. So they're going to go to the website, and they're going to be they're going to see the, flashy, intro on the website, and oh, Thrive, I feel great. Drink this, take this. This is, cured all this for me, and they're, out of curiosity, they're gonna want to try it. I'm sure there was a lot of, I know a few creators that even said that they tried it out of curiosity because of this case. So, you know, subconsciously, like I said, people are going to still be curious, and they're still going to go check out the website. Again, I think it was a fantastic publicity stunt. What do you guys talking about? You've led? What's you've led? Why should I know that? I feel like I should know that. And they do mock us, yes. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but besides the Idaho case, which is, I believe, was another one. Okay. I'm going to get to these quickly. Sorry. I know I already said that, but. Okay, so if he doesn't fit the profile. Oh, and then, of course, we know that Chris didn't fit the profile. Everyone said how amazing of a husband, of a husband he was, a great friend, a good coworker, never showed any signs of violent tendencies or angry at all. Just all around nice guy. Nobody had anything bad to say about him, of course, until the case happened, or until they saw him backing his truck into the driveway, and it was like, oh, yep, I knew he was guilty. I'm like, Sandy, you just got done saying that you accepted and thought of him as like a son, and then all of a sudden, and Frankie too, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, the minute we saw him backing his truck into the driveway, we knew he was guilty. We knew he did. Like, what? How? Like, by backing his truck in the driveway, that doesn't make him guilty, especially with all the nice things you're saying about him. So it's like, all right, make up your minds, contradiction. So yeah, so Chris definitely 100% did not fit the profile. So keep an eye out for that. Did I skip that one? Okay, then I went to many people benefit. Okay, sorry. Okay, so killer didn't fit the profile. Many people benefited. More questions than answers. How many times in these cases, any of these cases, especially with true crime, has there been more questions than answers? With a case like the Watts case, it should have been open and shut. Yep, he confessed. This is that. Mistress didn't have anything to do with it. And that's it. Open and shut. But no, we got all of this information, which seemed like a lot, but there really wasn't a lot of information if you think about it. So, and we still have more questions than answers, even with the discovery being released. How was that possible? So that's another red flag. If the case is quickly closed, no trial, red flag. Watt's case was closed quickly. And now, if there's no trial, or if there is a trial, does it necessarily mean that it's not orchestrated? No. It just depends on the event. They might need to have a trial in order to get that outcome that they're looking for. So it just depends. But usually they like to close it out quickly after they get that narrative out there and really push that agenda that they're going for. Yeah, conspiracy realist, yeah. And the conspiracy theory, calling someone a conspiracy theorist, that whole thing, that's just the, what do they call that? An ad hominem for just to give a reason to call someone crazy, or to call someone crazy for thinking rationally and logically and using their head and asking questions. So just because you ask questions and think logically, it doesn't make you conspiracy theorist or crazy. It makes you smart. So, oh yeah, she had a premonition that they're in oil too. That's convenient, right? Yeah, a lot of convenience in this case. So no actual crime scene, autopsy photos. We don't still to this day know where they were actually killed. Rourke never gave us that. And then we can't believe Chris because he's literally told so many different stories, plus he's a pathological liar based on the narrative. Or that's the role he's playing. And no crime scene photos. Or autopsy photos, I mean. And there wasn't an actual crime scene. Yeah, they put some of those yellow markers down, but that was the defense team, right? So the FBI didn't even do that. Where was their crime scene investigators? I didn't see anything like that. They didn't tape off the house or like nothing. They let friends, family, news reporters, police officers walk through that house, taint all the potential evidence if it did go to trial. But if it did go to trial, then there's that, because all that evidence is tainted now. You got Nicholas Atkinson I can't talk, touching light switches and everything. Like, it's so not realistic. Then you have what else? So of course, no autopsy photos. I mean, we didn't even get a picture of the hair on the hatch that they mentioned in Discovery, the blonde hair on the hatch. Why wouldn't they? Why can we can't handle that? We can't handle a picture of hair? Is that what they're trying to say? Like I said, I'm not expecting like autopsy photos like the vulgar one, but at least make an attempt. Like, give us a picture of a hand or a foot or something. But no, they don't even do that. FBI, CIA involvement. So even if it's like just what do they call it? Where before FBI, CIA, help me out, you guys. Where it's just where it's not federal, right? It's not the words. It's not local. Well, it's not local case, but either way, the FBI and the CIA, they're always gonna somehow get involved for whatever reason. I can't. I feel like my brain is mush lately. Okay. Evidence tampering, destroyed. You're always gonna find out. Look at the Idaho case, J Lord. They, because you said you're interested in that case. They destroyed the Idaho house where they were murdered, like before the trial. Like, how? They're like, oh, we got all the evidence, so we're just gonna destroy it. No, like, what if the defense team was like, I don't think you guys did, the prosecution team, I don't think you guys did a thorough job of looking for evidence in that house, so we want to go back in there and we want to make sure that all the evidence was collected. Except now they can't do that because they literally tore down that house. Like, is that not, like, how, I don't understand how more people aren't like, what? Like, how is that possible? Like, Survey 319, like, regardless if the case is closed, like, what if it did get reopened? Like, that evidence is gone now. Which one was it? Tristan Bailey, was she was cremated, right? No. She wasn't cremated, but she had a was she? I don't know. But the Brian Laundrie, which I believe, actually I'm certain that was another one of those events, orchestrated events. Gabby Petito, she was cremated, right? Like, what? Cremated? Stephen Paddock, cremated. Stephen Paddock was cremated while that investigation was still open. It was still open. Like, if you cremate a body, that evidence is gone. There's no going back, doing another autopsy, exhuming the body for another, like, so, I mean, Chris Watts, they sold his work truck, like, just what, a month after or something? A couple months after? Like, that's where the bodies were allegedly transported in. We didn't even get any evidence for that. We didn't even get pictures of all this, whatever was in there, supposedly. Nothing. We didn't get anything. We didn't get anything of any actual, like, that we could actually use, or that we could get some sort of, like, okay, well, that makes sense. You know, like, there's just no evidence in this case at all. No forensics. Hardly. Photos. I mean, where is it all, you know? So, another red flag to look out for when there's no actual crime scene and not necessarily always autopsy photos, but and I skipped one to the evidence tampering, destroyed, but yeah, huge red flags. Okay, last one is the little to no emotion and Duber's delight. Like, we could say that Chris didn't show any emotion because he's a narcissist. That's what people say, right? But we could see the Duper's delight and the body cam footage when they're in the closet, and just the interview on the porch. But it's definitely not narcissism. It's just really shitty acting, and it just happened to work in their favor for them. So good for them. But a lot of times you'll see the duper's delight when they're interviewing witnesses. A lot of the times you'll find it more in like the pew 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 events of witnesses that was allegedly there. They literally just went through a super traumatic moment in their life. People died, and yet they're laughing and they're giggling, and there's no tears. Or they'll be wiping away the tears, but there's no liquid. So it's like, what are you doing? Why are you wiping? Is there a bug on your face? Like, what are you wiping away? You know? So, and that's another thing to look out for. Oh, and you'll always find in these cases too. Let me see if I can find that real quick. How long have I been on for? I don't want to make these too long. There's just so much, hour and a half. Okay, we'll keep this under 2 hours. There's just so much to this case. It's like, that's how I always get so off track, because my mind's always like hamster wheels going a mile a minute. Okay, I want to show you guys. Oh, I don't know if I can play it though because of copyright. I don't know. I don't even know what I can play or not play or talk about or anything on YouTube anymore. It's ridiculous. I'm not monetized anymore though, so YouTube demonetized me, so I don't have to worry about that. I just don't want to get copyright strikes. Really, Beck? That's weird. I'm sure they do it even in like small stories, for sure, to sway opinions. Oh, was he doing that like the cop in the courtroom during Watt's hearing, Beck? Because I put that in my video, my occultism video. Does anybody have a video of mine that you want me to play next? Let me see if I can find that. I'll play it. Oh, and notice too, did you guys notice with these cases, there's always body cam footage now. Like, Chris Watts, all the body cam footage, and then Gabby Petito, like, they just happened to, like, pull over Gabby and Brian right before they went missing. Like, how convenient, you know? And then the Riley Strain case, they caught him on body cam footage walking, and then, how convenient. And then on CCTV footage, and then the Brian Kohberger case, they just pulled him over like just days before he committed these murders. It's like, how many times are these murderers gonna get pulled over, or they're gonna catch them on body cam footage? Like, how convenient, right? Yeah, and that's the thing, Chase, once you know how to spot these red flags, like, they're almost like laughable. They're so ridiculous, like, and they're just so easy to spot. And with the symbolism, they're even easier. You just have to know what to look for, and yeah, they're right in front of your face. Okay, so here's the hopefully Ashley Bannon. Hopefully she doesn't give me a strike. Okay. I'll just pause it and talk through it. Maybe I can get a loophole that way through it. Okay. And some of you may not have seen this actually, so this might be good. So so in these events, like I was saying, they'll always have someone from the victim's past, right? Someone like a school teacher or some sort of mentor, and they'll interview them on the news, and it'll always be this like just really emotional story, you know, about the victim, and how they'll really hype them up about like how great of a person they were, or they came from this background and it was really sad. It's just really something to pull at heartstrings. It's always what they're trying to do. They're trying to like get that emotional reaction out of people. Because again, like I said, when people think with their emotions, they don't think logically. They don't think clearly. Okay, here we go. Am I muted? Hopefully I'm not muted. Okay, I'm not. Okay.
Happy birthday to you.
What? Did you blow my candles out?
Wait, who's on that? Who's on the video? Who is that?
Birthday to
Who is that in the video? Does anybody know? On the phone, on her phone? Oh yeah, the Smith Mundt Act back. Yeah, I can't talk about that enough. Oh, and there's another butterfly. Monarch butterfly. I don't know what that was. I don't know why I just sang that. It's probably because I'm getting tired. I can't tell who it is, but none of that matters.
What? Did you blow my candles out?
Thank you for being with us. And first and foremost, I'm very sorry for your loss. You weren't just her ninth grade teacher. You became a very close friend of hers. You continued a friendship with her right up until, as I understand it, I think 2 weeks before she died, you last communicated with her, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yep, I found out. Yeah, I found out kind of late too. But yeah, she was doing a convention over there, and
Oh yeah, I looked up this guy, his name too, and I can't remember what it came up with, but it was something interesting. But wait, your shadow banned with your main account again. It's awful to mute. I promise you, I didn't mute you, so it's got to be on YouTube's end. Orb, and okay, I'll check my Discord after this stream. Frankie, it might have been.
I was just so impressed with her doing Facebook Live and the way she did it and the way she had become such an encourager. I just gave her a big how much I'm proud of her on the Facebook Live message.
And she wasn't like that. When you were her teacher at 14 years old, you described a very different person. Who was she then?
Yes, so yes, you'd be amazed at how far she's come. She's a wonderful, beautiful human being who learned that the power of giving your life away, I think.
The power of giving your life away? Interesting words.
Brings true joy. She was a very insecure young lady who didn't have a lot of friends when I met her at 14 years old. But she was brave enough to sign up for beginning acting, and I think that's...
Beginning acting. I found that interesting as well. Yeah, she got banned. Yeah, Foxy. But yeah, she signed up for acting, and then he sure knows a lot about her for being her ninth grade teacher. It's kind of like almost in like in a creepy way. I don't know, but
that's where she made a big mistake.
Well, tell me about that.
Well, we had a lot of kids took theater in ninth grade, so we had.
Notice how he looks down? Could be reading off a script. Yeah, Matt Francis, yeah.
I had about 35 to 40 kids in her class. They did that to me twice at Pinecrest, and I didn't mind at all because I had a great technique for working with that many kids. But right away when she got in there, she realized immediately that we are all about ensemble. I even made sure people understood I wasn't the most important person in the room. The ensemble is the most important thing, and looking at other people as bigger than yourself is how you can succeed in theater, no matter whether it's on tech crew or it's on in the acting side. So even to this day, when I teach film acting, it's all about the ensemble. People actually have to sign a contract. So when she came in, she realized she was with a group of people that were much more outgoing than she was at the time, but she also realized that they cared about her and were just as interested in her succeeding.
They were? How does he know? Is he speaking for all these students that are in his class? How does he know that they were interested in her succeeding?
So I think she started to really thrive and started to even...
She started to really thrive. Thrive?
give her life away and started to, I'm very improvisational based, so she even started contributing in the improvs. And
it's funny that, you know, it's the person you're describing, it's so different than the person who we see on Facebook. I mean,
he shares intimate details. Like, what's with this wording, intimate details? Like, it sounds almost like creepy, you know? And like I said, how does he know so much about Shanann, like, from 9th grade? Like, she was a really, really, like, okay, dude, like, that's kind of, like, you know, a little bit too much. Oh, I know, J Lord. I know, me too.
Seemed so confident, and yet you say she spent a lot of time in your office looking for advice. She was teased a lot. She had a low self-image.
Yes, her self-esteem was low. She did not have a good self-image of herself at 14 years old. And I want to make it very clear, like, I don't take any credit for it at all. All I did was really heard Shanann, and I joke with her all the time.
Shanann? He doesn't even know her name. I wonder when she allegedly changed her name too, because wouldn't it be Shannon? That's what the narrative told us, that her name was Shannon legally, and then that she changed it to Shannon legally. And that's why her parents call her Shannon still. And it was like the Truman Show, Buttercup, yeah. Shanann?
Her name was, Shanann, because it was a very
yeah, you know what? Tell us that, because a lot of people have made sort of a lot of, I guess, theories about the...
I joke with her all the time. Self-image of herself at 14 years old. And I want to make it very clear, like, I don't take any credit for it at all. All I did was really heard Shanann, and I joke with her all the time. Her name was, Shanann, because it was a very
yeah, you know what? Tell us that, because a lot of people have made sort of a lot of, I guess, theories about the pronunciation of her name. I've heard her pronounce her own name on her Facebook videos, but she, weird. In her at her memorial, the program at the church spelled her name with the proper spelling, S-H-A-N apostrophe A-N-N. And how did she pronounce it when she was at school?
Well, here's what I'll say, because ever since I knew her, it was always Shanann, like, and I'd break it up into two syllables and two separate things, So that's how I've always known it and joked with her, and she never corrected me in 3 years of being with me. But I don't want to... I mean, she could have changed the way she wanted it pronounced later in life, so I certainly don't want to step on that.
Let me ask you this, Matt. The reason we found out about you at all was because you found something after you attended her funeral. You were moving, and when we move, we find all sorts of stuff from our past, tucked away in nooks and crannies in our homes, and you found a letter that Shanann had written to you fairly recently. And I just want, if I can, I just want to, actually, when I say fairly recently, I think it was as you were leaving Pinecrest in 2002. So I want to read for our viewers what the letter said. And I think we even have a picture of what the...
Yeah, because I go back, after I graduate and write my teachers intimate letters. I'm not saying this is intimate, but yeah, that's the word they use.
The card and the note and the signature looks like. You had posted it on Facebook. Let's pop that up on the air. And I'm going to read some of the things that she wrote to you. I just wanted you to know that I am going to miss you dearly. You are truly something special to me. You have always been there for me and have been very helpful. You helped bring out the true person in me back in 9th grade, and I can't thank you enough for that. Not only have you been there for me as a friend, but you have also been like a father figure to me.
A father figure.
I wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for being...
Doesn't she have a father? I mean, isn't it usually... Don't you usually look... I don't know. Don't you usually look for a father figure when you don't have a father? So you kind of tend towards that? Like, yeah. I know. I want to rewind it too because I want to see it. I'm taking way too much time on this, but if they strike me, whatever. Okay. Where did the tears come? So, okay. So they pan off from Mr. Francis here. And then, wait, let's go back to, okay, when did the tears start coming? Let's see. Play by play.
And when we move, we find all sorts of stuff from our past, you know, tucked away in nooks and crannies in our homes. And you found a letter that Shanann had written to you fairly recently. And I just want, if I can, I just want to, actually, when I say fairly recently, I think it was as you were leaving Pinecrest in 2002. So I want to read for our viewers what the letter said. And I think we even have a picture of what the card and the note and the signature looks like. You had posted it on Facebook. Let's pop that up on the air. And I'm going to read some of the things that she wrote to you. I just wanted you to know that I am going to miss you dearly. You are truly something special to me. You have always been there for me and have been very helpful. I will never forget you. Love always. Lots of luck. Thank you so much for being a wonderful teacher and friend. I will never forget you. Love always. When you found that, Matt, what
does Chris know about this? Okay, that was bad. I was saying, does Chris know about this relationship between her and her acting teacher? Because I mean, I don't know. It's kind of, I mean, yeah, it was before they met, but I mean, still, she was still, you know, fairly recently writing to him.
happened? What happened? What did you think?
Well, there's a lot to it. I mean,
there's a lot to Shanna Ann
that we just described in 9th grade, and the Shanna Ann that she became before I left. She became a rock for me. She learned that giving her life away meant so much more, and she became like a stage manager and a production person. Adam Goodrum was our tech director, and she was always there to help me. She learned that giving her life away meant so much more. The Shanna Ann that we just described in 9th grade.
Giving her life away. He used that saying again. Like twice, dude. I could see one time, but then like you're going to say that again. That's pretty distasteful.
And the Shanna Ann that she became before.
Oh, I didn't even notice that, you guys. Sorry, I got really excited there. Probably like scared you. I haven't watched this video in a long time, but look at her pointing at the shoes. I'm freaking. Why are there shoes hanging from what is that? A claw machine? Like purple, nonetheless, but shoes. I'm telling you guys, the shoes. Okay, sorry, I got really excited. I'm cool. I'm cool. I can't make this stuff up, I swear, and I can't believe I missed it, but it's a good thing we went back to this, because there's the shoes again, and I know the shoes thing sounds crazy, but okay, I'm gonna go back. Let's go back. This is real time finding stuff, and you guys got to witness it.
There's a lot to it. I mean, the Shanna Ann that we just described.
What? Okay, where is that at? Is that, and there's shoes in the background? It's for Lavelle. Is that what that's for? Of course. Purple shoes. Oh, that must have been when she was in New Orleans. Wait, what happened? Lady on the news story. Yeah, more like classmate. Yeah. Who said that? Who's that? Find it again. Okay, where it was just okay. Chase, yeah. Too young, more like a classmate. Okay. And yeah, I can't be that much older than her, Jay says. Oh, bye, Buttercup. I'm sure you're gone by now. I didn't see it, but if you watch the replay, thank you for being here. I missed a lot. Okay. Maybe not a lot, but okay. So he left the year she allegedly graduated. I'm not sure. Did you do the math on that one? I'll trust you on that. Play what, Beck? Yeah, the shoes. The shoes. I'm telling you guys. I know Foxy. She's been following me long enough to know that I talk about the shoes. I think I did a whole stream, maybe not on YouTube, maybe it was on DLive, where we literally were doing shoe puns because of it. Or like play on words. Wait, who said, okay, I missed the control part. Okay, we're going past 2 hours. Oh well. Never watched the memorial. I'm trying to find back where you mentioned something about control. But yeah, to answer your question again, Beck, about the creators being there to distract us and to throw us in the wrong direction, yeah, I completely believe that that there's controlled opposition creators. I'm not even gonna name the one that I think is, but I'll give you a hint. He's a big creator. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You're talking about some paid actors. Okay. Yeah, let's count how many times he says give her life away. Well, 2 for sure. But yeah, the shoes. Okay, so I gotta remember that because that's gonna be in my shoe compilation video that I might make.
In 9th grade, and the Shannon that she became before I left, she became a rock for me. She learned that giving her life away meant so much more, and she became like a stage.
There you go, J Lord. 3 times, dude. 3 times. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Discord, thank you, Beck. Join Discord, you guys, because that's going to be the easiest way. And don't ask Orbital if that's true or not, because I'm pretty good with responding. I'm just kidding, Orb, but to responding to my messages on Discord, because email, forget about it. Like I don't ever check my email. I think I have like 30,000 emails because most of it's spam or whatever, but crap. But I just figure we're in 2024, we got to go to DMs, emails, like it takes so long to get a point across too.
Manager and a production person. Adam Goodrum was our tech director. She was always there to help with the tech crew, but she'd also work amazingly with the actors. It meant so much more, and she became like a man that we just described in 9th grade, and the Shannon that she became before I left. She became a rock for me. She learned that giving her life away meant so much more, and she became like a stage manager.
That giving her life away meant so much more, and she became a stage manager. So that's what she became a better person. What? So she moved up in the acting positions or in improv? Like, it makes no sense to me.
And a production person, Adam Goodrum.
And stop confusing Chase Beck. I'm just kidding.
Was our tech director. She was always there to help with the tech crew, but she'd also work amazingly with the actors. She just learned. She had a level of empathy like a lot of people today just don't. So to find out that this happened to her, I mean, I still don't believe it's true. It's so mind-boggling because she's really truly one of the good ones, one of the amazing ones who really saw hurting people out there. So when I found that, I thought it was such a gift.
Oh God, I wish I had like a what they called a sound gag or sound bite or whatever of sound gag, gag reel. That's what it is, gag reel, of playing the music that they do with like the award ceremonies. You know, he's doing pretty well.
Because I had just come back from the funeral and they had the 3 caskets there.
That's right, Chase. You did mention that, and I responded to that. And I don't suppose you remember the TV clip, because that would be too easy, right? Well, that never happens for me. Nick and Amanda Thayer. What about them? Yeah, they're actors too. Oh, interesting you say that, Chase, about Nick, about the last part of your comment, because I know it's something funny, but I don't want to bring it up again in this, but it has something to do with Kessinger and putting Kessinger's hair on Nick and his bald head, and then they look like brother and sister. Okay, anyway.
And it was so hard to see someone that was just that amazing, someone could do that. And on top of it, as a father and a husband, someone who would betray that trust to protect those little babies and that wife.
I feel like there's a lot of favoritism towards Shanann. Like, if I was Shanann's classmates, I'd be like, gosh, like, I'd feel like, what about me? You know, like, I'm a good person, you know, like, why isn't he hyping me up? Like, I know that, I mean, I'm still alive, but I mean, it seemed like they were pretty close for 9th grade acting class. Wait, 9th grade acting. Did you guys ever take an acting class in 9th grade? Was this like in her actual school, or was this like out of school that she signed up for? Because they didn't have, I wish they had acting classes available to take. 6? He says 6? I must have missed it, because I only caught 3, but 6, that's crazy.
And to see it happen to her, of all people. So there was 2 layers to it. One was the funeral, which was very hard. Then coming home and just clean out the garage. Honestly, I was not looking for it. I just found this thing, and it was all this huge card from one of my classes, and then there was this little card from Shanna Ann, and it was one of the first things that I opened and read. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was such a treasure, and it just reminded me of how far she'd come. And my hope is, honestly, I love what the family's doing, and I want to make sure we highlight that. Shine like Shanna Ann. # shine like Shanna Ann, because that woman, in her light and legacy, she did enough in her short amount of time to affect people's lives for a long time to come, I think. And that's what it reminded me of, and that's why I posted it.
Okay. Oh, and I just posted a re-upload of CDT, so she's probably going to get me for re-uploading her video, even though she re-uploaded HLN's video, so whatever. I don't even care. It's like, it's so selective anyways. It's like some people get like strikes for things that other people don't for the same thing. Yeah, I should have checked who uploaded that before I clicked on it, but that's okay. But yeah, so my whole point of that was that they'll usually they'll have someone from the victim's past to do an interview, and it's an emotional, heartfelt story to really pull at heartstrings. 6 times though, J Lord, is that how many times he said it? That's crazy. That's true. 3, even 3 was a lot, let alone 6. Yeah, no acting classes, definitely not. They're using social media about the case to teach AI about human emotions and how to influence them. Oh, I'm sure. That's a very good possibility. And a lot of these are, it's a social experiment. Like, and everything that you write on the internet is documented, and they will use that information. So if you don't want the government or anybody knowing anything that they possibly use against you later on, don't put it in a chat room online, or anywhere online for that matter, because it's all documented. And I even put, I posted a video about another oil guru talking at a convention. Well, he's at an oil convention, but he works for this software company that it's really good. If you guys have 11 minutes sometime, you get bored, listen to it. I can't remember the title at this moment, but he talks about like data collection from people, their information online. They'll collect that data using this software, and they'll use it. Like oil companies will use that data that they collected about their shareholders, their oil shareholders or royalty owners, in order to sway the opinion. So like if they have, for instance, say, John Doe has this uncle who is against fracking, is an anti-fracker, and he's been saying, talking to his brother, the royalty owner, or the nephew, because he's an uncle. Let me keep my story straight here. Remember it. If he's talking to the nephew, trying to get in his head, saying fracking's bad, yada yada yada, that the oil company will take that information that they found from the data collection about that uncle. They'll find the uncle somewhere random at a sports bar or whatever, or at another at a fracking convention, and they'll go knowing the information that, like, so whether it's if he likes jam or jelly on his peanut butter sandwiches, or what sports teams he likes, or just anything, his cat's name, if he has cats or dogs, they'll go and just go up to him, and not obviously secretly, then they'll be like, nonchalantly bring up like the Broncos or whatever. He'll be like, yeah, so how about them? And then he'll go, oh yeah, and so they'll try to like befriend him almost, so they can get on their side to potentially sway them, like sway their opinions on fracking. Like, it's insane and it's scary. And this guy's talking about it at this convention like it's nothing. Like, literally data collection from people online. So like I said, don't say anything in chat rooms. That the things that people talk about in chat rooms amazes me sometimes. Like personal stuff about themselves that I would never repeat to anybody online, regardless of them being on the other side of a computer, not knowing who I was, Because like I said, everything you say on the internet is collected and documented. So anyways, that was a little kind of off topic, but so what did you guys want to watch one more video before I sign off? I don't know which one, there's so many, but this case is insane though. It really is. Like, I still, I'm able to sleep at night. Like some people, probably for a while couldn't because of it, but just because they still don't know what's going on. But I don't have to have all the answers for everything to know what's going on, if that makes sense. Like, based off of my theory, everything, all the questions that people are asking about the case, they put my theory into perspective, it all makes sense. Like, all of it. Wait, did who fall asleep? I'm confused. Wait, Beck? Oh, she was right here. Oh yeah, where'd she go? Maybe she went to Discord to like post that link for you or something. I don't know. So any suggestions on the last video to watch before I end the live stream? If not, I'm gonna pick one. Not that I even know. I don't even know of one. It's too many. Beck, come back. Oh, and if you guys join Discord too, I can post videos of videos that I really want you guys to see that I can't show you on YouTube. But they're really, really important, and they just corroborate. That's a weird word. Corroborate. You know, the things I'm saying. Okay, let me see. Let me look in the videos. What video do I watch? But yeah, this not only is this case super crazy, but I've had a couple of weird things happen to me that I was like going, whoa, okay, maybe I don't want to cover this case anymore. Not like my life being threatened or anything like that, but like just a few strange things. It brings out the crazy people. This case did. Okay, let me see. For the last video. Oh, and Beck mentioned earlier about asking if I thought that they were creators that were, you know, purposely put into this case to throw people off and cause confusion and send people in the opposite direction of the truth. And I think that Kim Kaufman definitely was one. I don't know if you guys remember Kim Kaufman, but that was a crazy time of the case. Because right when the case starts to die down, some person always comes out that says they know him or whatever, and they have all this inside information or whatever. They're going to reopen the case. Yeah, nothing ever came from it. But a lot of symbolism. Slow down, think. With that woman. Okay. And I know that Justice A to Z wanted me to talk about, I don't know if you're still here or listening, Justice, but if you watch the replay, you wanted me to go over a little bit more information about the Russek's motive or agenda, and I can definitely go over that again. It's another really, really important part of the case that's going on as far as the reason behind it. But so I can go over that again. I probably won't go over tonight because it's a lot to it. Not a lot to it, but I mean, I'll save that for complete to talk about by itself. We'll do another live stream. Oh, there you are. Yeah, so I'll do another live stream on that too, and we can go into that. Because that's really, really, really important. Their behavior and their motive. She may have. Maybe she feels bad because she confused you, Chase. I'm just kidding. No, I'm sure she's fine. I'll check Discord. I'll DM her on Discord. Okay, we can watch one. We can, if you want, Justice. I'll play one of the videos that I made about the Russek's motive or agenda. Still trying to figure out the difference between that. Like I think I'm using motive wrong. Because like an agenda is behind them. Either way. So that one's only 4 minutes. At least with my videos, I'd say at least with my videos, I'll know that I can't get a strike. But then again, I forgot that I'm playing public information on the case. It's ridiculous. I can't believe they're striking people or like hitting people for information that we've had, public information that we've had out for years now. Yeah, that's a good point, J-Lord. And that they're still alive. Okay. I think this is it. In my previous videos, I covered the overwhelming amount of predictive programming in the FX television show American Horror Story and the Watts case. There are so many similarities, and the connections are too accurate to be ignored or considered coincidental. The producers of American Horror Story, Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk, have been fascinated with... Wrong one. Okay, go back. That's a good one. It's a good one. But, that wasn't what I was looking for. Is it... Oh, here's that one that I was talking about the data collection, you guys. It's the military psyop tactics for data collection. Yeah, it's pretty frightening, actually, what they can do on the internet and what they can see. Okay. Is it this one? It's not honor. It's the All right. Bear with me. Okay, I found it.
Press conference that we had with Frank is that after that press conference, we had some people reach out to us from an organization referred to as the Honor Network. That's HONR Network. It's an organization, nonprofit, that advocates for the survivors and victims of mass casualty situations. The founder of that son, people are not aware.
Sorry for the blurps, whatever they call them, because yeah, you can't talk about that one pew 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 event on YouTube like whatsoever, or you'll immediately be flagged. I said it several times, but I don't wanna push it, you know. So he's referring to one of the parents of a victim of the 2012 event that happened at that school. Okay, here we go.
Was the youngest victim of the tree shooting. They reached out to us following the press conference and offered us a lot of help with the online harassment, with advocating for the family. And so the family wanted to update people that the Honor Network has been immensely and immeasurably helpful when it comes to online bullying and harassment. Family also wanted to talk about some of the online retailing that has been going on. There's people out there making t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, and stuff like that. Remember the Watts that bear Shanann's name, Bella's name, Nico's name, Celeste's name. They are not affiliated at all with that. They are not making a profit off of any of that, and they would encourage people to not endorse or participate in that kind of behavior.
Thanks, Stephen. All right, I'm going to finish it up with just a couple miscellaneous topics that the family asked us to discuss real quick. There's been a lot of information out there on social media that the family profited from different television appearances and stuff like that, and are profiting from, their losses, and that couldn't be further from the truth. For instance, they did not profit from being on Dr. Phil or ABC's 2020, so we just wanted to go on the record and let everybody know that they're not profiting from this. Also, we wanted everybody to know that the family has donated all the personal effects.
So the Ruseks are, they say, don't talk about the case. You're not allowed to talk about the case. And then they'll come back later and they'll say, well, you could talk about the case, but just stick to the facts. Don't talk about conspiracies. And then they'll come back out and they said, you can't even upload, you have Sandy saying, don't even upload videos of Shanann and my grandkids. Like, ones that are, tributes to them. So it's like, make up your mind. But they say don't talk about the case, and then they go on to the shows like Dr. Phil. They stream the funeral live on Facebook, from what I can remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. They stream that live, the funeral, the memorial, whatever it is. And they go on ABC 2020. So if you don't want people talking about the case, like, you're going on these shows and you're publicizing it. You're doing that, So how do you expect people to not talk about it after you go on these talk shows and talk about it? If that makes sense. So, it's very contradicting. And then later, after they kept saying, don't talk about the case, then they go and they do the Netflix documentary. And that was like, right when the case started to like die down a little bit. You'll notice that every time one of these cases starts to die down, people start to, move on from it a little bit, something always comes up. A documentary, or someone will come into the picture and they'll say they have, new evidence or something, or a family member will come out and talk, or a witness, or just something, and it's like, yeah, here we go again.
From Shanann, Bella, and Celeste to different charities, and so people were able to, use their, their personal items, and hopefully to better.
Which event are you talking about? The Patriot Act? Or just, I'm confused. No, I'm confused. Just any of these orchestrated events, I guess. Is that what you're asking me, Jay? And yeah, Orbital is right. Discord does ask quite a bit of questions, but I think there's a reason for it, That was also, there's a lot of them. But I think I'm still kind of confused. But we'll figure it out. Okay, here we go. Sorry.
Or somebody else's life. And so anyway, they wanted us to share that with everybody. Next, the family has asked us to engage in discussions and start looking into a new law that would either criminalize or allow for...
Bingo. Keyword is law, a new law. So with these, these orchestrated events, I just try not to say orchestrated as least as possible. I just try to say these events, which can probably be confusing to anybody that's new here, because they're gonna go, what is she talking about? Which events? So I guess, yeah. So I should just say it. So with these orchestrated events, they will either do it to, and it's gonna, all the motives are gonna be different. Like, the end game is gonna be different depending on that specific event. So, and they're all different. It's just the outcome that they're going for. But with them, it'll be a distraction. They're trying to like say, look over here, not over here, over there. What's really going on, what's really important is going on in the world. And you'll notice too that there's been several times where these orchestrated events, and not just in true crime, they're all different types. It'll happen towards, close to like election day, or like kind of like when I showed you the Fracking distraction video. It'll happen near election day, or just if anything big's going on that's in the news that they just don't want you to pay attention to. So distraction always. Or there'll be a distraction so that they can slip, or pass laws right underneath our noses and not even know about it, because we're too distracted. It's just like, what's going on with Harvey Weinstein? What's going on with this and that or whatever, or the Johnny Depp case and the Amber, what's her name? Heard. I almost said turd. The Amber Heard trial. Like, why? Or so, I mean, it's like, it's whatever people, I don't judge, whatever people want to watch or whatever they're into it. But like, I personally don't give a crap about two actors. I can't say that enough. Two actors fighting over money. But who gets money? Like, why is that all over the news? Why? Like, I could care less. But people were glued to their TVs about that Johnny Depp Amber. But I think that was a big distraction, in my opinion, from whatever was going on at the time. I don't know specifically if there was something big going on at the time, but a distraction for sure. Okay, here we go.
Civil penalties in the event that, people of mass tragedies and stuff like that, the deceased are defamed. And so we've started to reach out to some different contacts and stuff like that. And so we'll keep and start items and personal effects from Shanann, Bella, and Celeste to different charities. And so people were able to, use their, their personal items and hopefully to better somebody else's life. And so anyway, they wanted us to share that with everybody. Next, the family has asked us to engage in discussions and start looking into a new law that would either criminalize or allow for civil penalties in the event that, people of mass tragedies and stuff like that, the deceased are defamed. And so we've started to reach out to some different contacts and stuff like that. And so...
And stuff like that and stuff like that. Like, is this how a lawyer usually speaks? And stuff like that. And then other stuff like that. Yeah, Shannon's Law. Yep. Yeah, they that made me nervous a little bit, but it didn't go as far as they had hoped. It doesn't seem, unless it's still in like some sort of in the works. But yeah, like, so what they're saying is you are not allowed to be, you can't, and there's no the threatening, the threats, and the bullying, the death threats. There's zero proof of that, and I know that people are going to be like, why would they lie? How dare you say that they're not being, but let's be realistic. There's no proof of it. Hey, Easy, show me receipts. Show me action that you're taking to, like, and if they are being threatened, then that's terrible, or being sent death threats. But when have victims of a tragic event been sent death threats? I mean, it's kind of crazy. But
we'll keep the news media informed as that progresses, but they did want us to know that. And then finally, they asked us to close with, it's time to let the case rest. The Weld County DA's office, they did an amazing job along with law enforcement.
That's one of my favorite gifts. This little girl, it's so funny. You can use it in so many like scenarios and like different situations. But yeah, they did an amazing job. Is that what he said? Was that verbatim? I don't remember exactly, but praising them, and it's time to let it go. But then after this came out, after this was released with the lawyers, several months later, you have Frankie Jr. uploading his own interview with law enforcement. Like, how tasteless is that? Like, you're gonna sit there and say, don't talk about the case. It's done. It's over. It's closed. It's time to move on. But then you're gonna upload your own FBI interview about your deceased, murdered sister? to your channel. And not only that, but then you're going to monetize it. So you're going to make, Frankie Jr., you're going to make money of re-upload or upload your deceased sister's, or your interview about your deceased murdered sister. Like, how hypocritical, and it's just contradiction at its finest. Don't talk about the case, but I'm going to upload, because you know what happened when Frankie Jr. did that? It got everybody riled up again, started talking about the case again, just like when the Rusiks went on and did that Netflix documentary. You're not allowed to talk about the case, but then we're going to go and we're going to make a documentary about it and expect us not to talk about it again. Or they insert themselves in social media, and not only in social media, but into the true crime community, where that's all we talk about is your deceased family. So if you don't want to hear what people have to say on social media, then stay as far away from social media as possible. But instead, they literally did the opposite and inserted themselves into the community. And then caused division, supported people or praised people that supported them, and then, you know, talked bad and just were nasty to people that didn't support them. They caused division. The Shiners and I forgot what the other one is. Doesn't matter. They caused two sides in the true crime community. So stop saying you don't want to hear about what people are saying on social media, and then insert your, like, the best thing to do is stay away from social media if you don't want to hear people talking about it. You don't insert yourself in it. It just makes zero sense.
The family couldn't be more thankful for the efforts of these individuals, and they just wanted everybody to, it's time to move on, and Mr. Watts was brought to justice, and so they're very pleased with that result, and they're just asking that everybody move on, and they would like to thank everybody for their time today, for coming out to listen to the statement, and now we're ready to open it up to any questions that you all may have.
Okay, I don't know if I gave everybody enough time when I made this video, so I'll read it real quick. Assisting victims of mass or publicized violence and organized hate campaigns. People who have experienced mass violence casualty events, mass shootings, bombings, etc., or violence that has been publicized, cop killings, live stream violence, or murder, etc., are often blindsided by the harassment, hate, and blame that can follow. Who would expect that at a time when a family is mourning the loss or coping with the injury of a loved one, that they would be set upon by anonymous strangers attacking them both on and offline? However, that is exactly what happens. So, Honor empowers victims of mass or publicized violence and organized hate campaigns. Honor mentors and guides victims and their families, helping them to understand the online climate, making good decisions about their online presence and security, and work with social media and internet platforms to minimize the attacks. Through our network of professionals, Honor can also help victims and their families find appropriate legal, media, and counseling support. You can't hear this, you can't hear it because you don't like what you're hearing, or you literally can't hear it. Despite pledges to make the removal of cyber hate and harassment easier and more transparent, social media platforms are often unresponsive to victims. Worse, many platforms have made the removal process onerous and subject to the personal ideologies of the reviewer. This, coupled with lagging laws and even more lagging implementation and enforcement of these laws, means that victims typically find that they have limited practical recourse against the attacks. I guess I did leave it up long enough for you guys to read. Okay. When called out to answer for lack of protection offered to victims, major platforms have typically defaulted to a "we don't want to chill free expression" position and referred to their flagging system. In reality, many platforms are ill-equipped to deal with the sheer number of complaints by people being harassed, bullied, and stalked online. Instead of hiring more live people to review and respond, many have turned to AI programs, which often miss serious issues. In some cases, women who posted pictures of themselves in swimwear or breastfeeding were removed, while revenge porn and extreme violence was protected. What? Wait, women breastfeeding on YouTube? Either way, so this mass flagging is, well, you'll see in the next clip. I get ahead of myself and I just say what's going to happen next in the video, and I should just play the video. They've turned to an organization called the Honor Network. Don't let that name fool you. We've got roughly 300 to 400 volunteers active at any given time. We create kind of a mass flagging circle, said Alexandria Merrill, a board member with the Honor Network. Just flagging something once or twice doesn't do anything, and you can only flag once on your account. What the father of that tragic event, the father of that child, created was kind of a group of volunteers that would alert each other when something defamatory was posted, and they would share the link and flag in mass. So they're literally going to specific channels and targeting certain titles of the channels or information that goes against the official narrative. Anything that doesn't go with the narrative, they're flagging in mass, and they're getting the video taken down or that channel. And I actually don't know someone personally, but a creator that I followed for a while that was on YouTube, he covered the Randy Book event. And this Honor organization was the one that actually got his channel removed from YouTube for mass flagging his channel, because his channel went against the official narrative. You're not allowed to ask questions, even if a narrative doesn't add up or doesn't make sense or there's inconsistencies. It doesn't matter. You're not allowed to ask questions. You're supposed to go with the official narrative. For the victims of some of the worst crimes and mass shootings in the country, the pain doesn't stop after the case is closed. Conspiracy theories, disinformation, and threats made against the families of the victims run rampant online. That's what the family of Shanann Watts said happened to them after her murder. There have been a number of instances of people reaching out to them, threatening them anonymously, said Stephen Lambert, an attorney with Grant and Hoffman law firm, who represents... Oh, see, now I didn't read it fast enough. Gosh. Who represents the family of Shanann Watts. They say, oh, Chris really wasn't the killer. It was X. Or his original confession was the real confession, and Shanann did have a hand in this. Or some sort of conspiracy going on. That kind of stuff bothers them a lot. But the thing is our First Amendment allows us to talk freely about what we want to, especially a highly publicized case. Oh, it's paused. Okay, so that's just like the beginning of their motive there. To start on that question of that Justice asked, but that's just the beginning. Like, I mean, and that's the lawyer already said that they're gonna try to pass a law for anybody that, you know, is supposedly harassing or whatever. But it's not harassment when you ask questions and you can't expect people, when it's that publicized of a case, to not talk about it. Or like, they were the ones that left Shanann's Facebook public. Like, don't leave your daughter's Facebook account public if you don't want people to go in there and scrutinize everything about her. That's just what people do in a highly publicized case, and especially when there's so many inconsistencies, and if we don't have the answers we're looking for, if we can't get it from the source, we can't get it from law enforcement, we can't get closure from Rourke. So human nature, we're going to naturally try to find the answers ourselves, and we're going to come up with every theory possible until we find that answer, no matter how like terrible or you know, ridiculous or whatever it seems or sounds. Like, people naturally want answers, and so they're gonna try to find it, and they're gonna scrutinize Shanann and, you know, whatever they can to be able to find those answers, you know. So like, you can't just keep contradicting yourself and say don't talk about the case, then leave your daughter's Facebook account open for everyone to see. Like, shut it down. You know. And then if you did that, people wouldn't have so much to talk about or to scrutinize. Or don't, like I said earlier, don't live stream the memorial for everyone to see. Like, they're the ones that are publicizing the case and then saying don't talk about it. Like, that's total contradiction. And you probably see I'm starting to get worked up because it pisses me off. But like, and I do try to stay neutral because I don't want to sway opinions. But I'm just passionate about this, and when I know what's going on and what they're trying to do, which is, you know, spoiler alert, but like, no, not really. Like, they're trying to take away our free speech because they're saying that they're being harassed, and so they're gonna. There's a lot to it. I'm not gonna go into it because I've already been on here past 2 hours. But I promise, Justice, if you're listening or you hear the replay, I'll totally go over all of this again because it's super, super important to what's going on. For sure, 100%. And I will say, you know, and I'm gonna probably bring it up when I talk about it again multiple times, but just because you're a victim, it doesn't give you immunity from being called out, or it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be called out for your contradiction and your hypocrisy, like, and for your actions. Like, I keep saying like, I sound like Kessinger and Chris Watts now. I've seen their behavior in comments and the way they've acted towards other creators, to how your usual or typical victim should not act, you know. And again, just because you're a victim, it doesn't give you the right to treat people disrespectfully, because everyone's been a victim at some point or another in their life about something. And being victims that they are claiming to be, they should know how that feels. So what gives them the right to turn around and do the same thing to other people? that they have no idea what they've been through. And that's what makes me mad and upsets me, is because of their hypocrisy and their contradictions. Talk about the case, don't talk about the case, talk about the, don't talk about the, but then we're going to put all this information out there. We're going to do these up. Like, it's just, again, contradiction at its finest. And victim or not, even if this is not orchestrated, you should still be called out on it. Again, being a victim doesn't give them the right to act the way they've been acting and their behavior. So, I'm trying to stay neutral here. But so yeah, so again, justice, I will go into more detail about it in another live stream, because it deserves its own live stream for sure. But how long have I been going? Okay, so this is a really long live stream. I will leave this one up. I know I've deleted the last couple ones, but I'll leave this one up. And so hopefully tomorrow, if not Monday, because I have Monday off as well, I will do the live stream on why law enforcement failed to recover Kessinger's deleted text messages. And I'll tell you right now, they didn't even try. So I'm going to talk about that. Huge red flag in the case, huge inconsistency. So keep an eye out for that. I will try to give you guys some heads up, a little bit of, time before I go live. It's difficult for me to do that because I don't like to schedule it and then keep pushing it back. So I'll try to give you guys a little bit of heads up. But yeah, thank you everyone for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. Always. It means a lot to me. So yeah, thanks for giving me your time as well. So I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow for the live stream. Okay. Later. All right, bye guys.